If you're thinking of running Google Ads with a small budget but not sure if it's even possible to make it profitable, well, the answer to that is yes. And here's one of our clients who spent only $1,000 last month, but they generated 3.6K in revenue, which gave them a 3.6x ROAS. So yes, it is possible, but most small accounts fail because they don't know how to leverage limited conversion data properly, which campaigns to invest in, and what strategy to use. So in this video, I'll show you how to crush Google Ads on a small budget. So the place where you want to start off is with brand search campaigns, right? If you're doing some sort of marketing, there would be some people searching for you on Google every single month. Now, if you don't have any other ads running, or you're not doing much of marketing, there might not be any brand search volume. So go to Google Ads Keyword Planner in your ad account and see if your brand has any volume. If there is no volume, then obviously you don't need to run a brand search campaign, right, when no one is searching for you. But if there is some existing brand search volume, you can start a brand search campaign, and you should start that because initially the main goal is to collect sufficient conversion data for the Google's algorithm to work properly, right? So you have to give it conversion data, and one of the easiest ways to do that is to run a brand search campaign. So you can start it off at like a $10 per day budget, and the setup would be pretty simple. You would obviously use branded copy in the ad. You can link it to the homepage. That doesn't really affect as much. And bidding strategy, we always use target impression share bidding strategy. I see a lot of brands using conversion based bidding, like target ROAS or maximize conversions, but that generally does not work very well with a brand search campaign because the intent is already there. So you don't need Google to find out the people with intent, right? This is the traffic which is at the bottom of funnel. So obviously you would use only brand keywords in it, and make sure to go in every few days and remove any search terms that are non-branded, because there will still be few clicks coming in from cold traffic which you want to remove, because you want a proper segregation between brand versus non-brand. So that would be a small campaign with $10 per day budget. But the main campaign that you need to be running to actually make it work long term and scale it is either a feed only PMAX campaign or a standard shopping campaign. Now generally, as a rule of thumb, you should not start a PMAX campaign as when you don't have conversion data in the account, because it relies a little bit more on machine learning and overall conversion data. But there is one scenario which makes PMAX campaign better in that particular scenario, and I'll also talk about that. For that, you would want to be looking at the AOV of your products. If it is a low to mid ticket item, then start with a standard shopping campaign, right, with $50 per day in budget. That is what I would consider small budget, right? So that is going to be your main campaign. Now, how you would set it up, or the strategy you would use here, is initially, like, if you have multiple different products, multiple different items, categories, etc., what you would want to do is you would want to start with only the best selling items or the best selling categories, because initially, again, you want to maximize your chances of profitability, right, as soon as possible. So you want to take your best bets, right? So again, if you have multiple different SKUs, so if you already get sales from some other channels organically or with other ads, you would want to only start with those best selling items. Or it might even be that you're a cosmetics store, but you have like 5-6 different products, but only one of them is your winning product, your hero item. So obviously you should start with just that one product. Now, if you don't have any sales, you can look at margins. You might have a category of some products with highest margin, so you would want to start there because they would have the lowest break-even ROAS. Now, the third thing is, don't exclude brand from this campaign right now. If you have, again, brand search volume, when someone searches for you on Google, this campaign can still show ads to those people on the shopping network, but you want that, right? A lot of people here on YouTube preach that, oh, brand is bad, exclude it completely. Like, each advice you want to take in the right context. So initially, I said you have to get as much conversion data as possible, and if you exclude this from here, then you're not showing up in the shopping feed when someone's searching for you. So for now, you don't exclude brand. This comes later when you have enough conversion data. Now, with the bidding strategy, you can either start with a manual cost per click or maximize clicks bidding. Both are focused on clicks and pretty much accomplish the same thing. If you're running max clicks, make sure to put a CPC cap on there, otherwise it inflates your average CPC. So once you are running that, and over time, how you optimize this campaign and your plan with it, you obviously look at the search terms regularly and exclude anything that is not relevant to what you're selling. But also, over time, you start squeezing the CPC cap, and what I mean by that is you look at your average CPC, right, and you reduce the CPC cap to a little bit under that, try to get more clicks with the same budget and see if that gets you more conversions, right? So you want to try to find a balance over there where you're spending the whole budget but also getting as many clicks as possible, and that is ideally leading to more conversions. So that is how you optimize a manual bidding strategy. And the whole goal with this is you want to get to 15 to 30 conversions in a 30-day period. And once you're able to do that, we want to switch the bidding strategy to a target ROAS bidding, because initially the results will not be good when you start running Google Ads. If you want to make it work, you have to use target ROAS bidding. But to do that, you need to get sufficient conversion data in the account, and that is in the range of 15 to 30 conversions over a 30-day period. So again, that is the whole goal. Once you reach that, you switch the bidding strategy to a low target ROAS. So for example, if you're getting like 100% ROAS, 1x ROAS on your campaign right now, and when you switch it to target ROAS, you only want to increase it a little bit, like 120 or 130%, because if you go like too much, 200%, right, the campaign will likely stop spending because Google doesn't know how to produce that much ROAS for you. So again, you start at low target ROAS and then you work up, both the target and the actual ROAS slowly over time. Now the second case here is using a PMax campaign. So if you're selling more higher ticket products like $250 plus, something like that, like we prefer using feed only PMax campaign in that case, and there's a very particular reason for that, which is the bidding strategy options in PMax. So again, you want to start with the same strategy, bestsellers or a high margin product, that stays the same. Don't exclude brand from here, same thing. But the reason we suggest using PMax in this case is because of the bidding options, right? So if your budget is only $1,500 per month, right, and your products are expensive, then you will be stuck using manual CPC for a very long time. You'll waste a lot of money on that because you might be getting like 6, 7 or 8 conversions in a month, right? And Google will not allow you to use target ROAS on standard shopping unless you're getting like 15, 30 conversions in a month. So you'll keep using manual CPC for a very long time and you'll waste a lot of budget on that. Whereas if you could have utilized conversion based bidding, you would have seen much better results and saved a lot more money, right? So that is something that I'm speaking from experience. So how you do this is you start off at maximize conversions, because you can do that in PMax campaign. So start with that. Then how you optimize this is, again, you do search term optimization. Over time, you see if you need to increase the budget, if that is possible for you to get conversions. So like that is an option, right? But apart from that, once you get like total of 15 to 30 conversions, that max conversion bidding strategy, but the performance is not good, right? You cannot increase the budget, you straight up put a low target ROAS. This is why we use PMax campaign in this case, so that you can utilize target ROAS much faster, and this will get you much better results much faster compared to just relying on standard shopping and manual CPC. So again, that is why I say a lot of advice on YouTube is contextual. Know your context and the situation, and use the strategies accordingly. Now that is the first phase of it. You first want to scale this campaign before doing anything else. This is the main goal. This will be your main winning campaign. Okay, so you want to scale this campaign as much as possible, at least $100 per day first, before even thinking about new campaigns. So again, once you have done that, then comes phase 2, where you would also look at starting a non-brand search campaign. So you would exclude the branded search terms from here, and $50 per day in budget for the same bestsellers or the high margin products that are working in this campaign. Okay, not for everything. Okay, now how you would want to structure is you want to segregate this campaign into different ad groups based on the different angles. So for example, if you were selling watches in this campaign, right, you would want to see what are different angles that people are searching for and converting in this campaign. Like for example, there might be people looking for affordable watches, for affordable luxury watches, men's watches, women's watches. So you want to see all of that and segment the ad groups in search campaign based on that. Then you would use the most relevant keywords for each of those angles. You would create ad copy that speaks to those angles, and also see what is the most relevant URL that you can use for that angle. Now coming to the bidding strategy for this campaign, since your account already has conversion data now, you can start with maximize conversion value, okay, no target ROAS initially. You can start with that instead of a click-based bidding strategy, and then follow the same optimizations here. Now the second campaign is a campaign for the rest of your products. Again, if you have a lot of other items that or a few items that you have not been running, so now you can start testing them if you have scaled these two campaigns properly and you have sufficient margin to play with. So again, you would start a feed only PMax campaign or a standard shopping campaign with all the other items and test them out. So that is it for this video. This is how you crush Google Ads with a very limited budget. If you found this helpful, feel free to watch the rest of my content, and I'll see you in my next one.